Everybody Hates Rand is a Wheel of Time podcast that will contain spoilers for all 14 books. So if you're anti-spoiler, pause this, read all 14 books, and come back. We'll be here, waiting.
Our title is a joke and is meant to be taken as such. In the context of this podcast, everybody refers to us and our cat. You are free to feel however you want about Rand, who is a fictional character. Don't DM us.
The world is a mess, Dark One stretching out his hand. The dragon's reborn, the fire's been fanned, but everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand.
Happy 100 episodes! It's our 100th episode!
Yeet.
Yeet!
Yeet. The grave is no bar to my yeet.
To my yeet.
People will say or tweet, the grave is no bar to my call, and I'll be like, there's
That's
something
not
wrong
right.
with
Yeah,
this
that's
sentence. My brain will not compute it anymore.
Oh my god, that reminds me that on my way home I was like, I'm gonna get out the kazoos and try and kazoo our entrance into our 100th episode. But then I remembered how bad I am at kazooing.
I was talking about that pack of kazoos this week as well. For some reason, I was talking to Gethin and Jeff about how we have like a whole box of kazoos.
Yeah, if anyone's on the market for a dang kazoo, we have them.
$100 a pop.
Imagine.
They're special EHR kazoos. We'll let Tybalt lick every one of them.
Ew, ew, ew.
$100 a pop, a pre-licked kazoo.
Nasty. Here's your cat cooties kazoo. Cat cooties kazoo is already the title of this episode. Okay, I have
Emily,
a stack of paper here.
Explain the concept of this episode to those listeners we have not DM'd on Twitter.
Oh my god. Well, first of all, this is Everybody Hates Rand. It's the 100th episode. It was also our 2-year anniversary yesterday, as we are recording this.
Yeah.
You may have been alerted to the fact of our 2-year anniversary because Sally opened our Etsy shop. So you can buy stickers now.
Yeah.
It's so great. Our Etsy shop is Everybody Hates Rand. Go buy the stickers because they're so pretty and cute.
They're very cute.
And also support the artists who did them.
Yes.
They deserve lots of money.
They get $1.20 of every sale. So
yes,
it's important to support independent artists and independent podcasters and to feed Tybalt.
Okay, the concept of this episode... Oh wait, I'm Emily.
Oh, yeah, I'm Sally. You should know.
The chaos! It's already happening!
I mean, if you're the type of person who's listened to 100 episodes of EHR, maybe they still can't tell our voices apart.
Okay, the concept of this episode was... well, we talked a lot about, as you may remember, having guest stars on this episode, but then we thought about it and we're like, A, that makes us kind of scared, because, I don't know, it would be a little scary.
Yeah, no, I like you so much.
Oh, thanks. Plus,
Not that I don't like other people.
Plus, there were, like, so many people who I would want to interview about the Wheel of Time if I had the option, so... And also, it's the 100th episode, and we wanted to say thank you to all of the people who have got us this far. So, what we did was, we created a Wheel of Time themed questionnaire. It's 25 episodes plus 25 questions plus a bonus question. I'm so good at talking right now. And we reached out to friends, family members, and listeners, and some people who fit into all 3 categories. And all with varying levels, degrees of exposure to Wheel of Time. And we asked them to fill out our little survey. So now here we are ready to present our findings to you, the public. It's very exciting. So first of all, we want to just shout out all the contributors. Many of them are names that you are probably familiar with. Just so you know, if you are a big listener, but we did not DM you asking you to fill out the survey. We probably will next time.
Yeah.
We just couldn't do literally everyone because this is literally 28 full pages
Emily
of text.
has a big stack.
I have a
of
big
papers.
stack of paper. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, Sarah McClintock. Sarah, we love you. Her pronouns are she, her, or they, them. You may know her from her guest spot on episode 29, aptly titled Jerkins Don't Have Sleeves. That will be significant later. It aired August 20th, 2018, if you want to find it. She does amazing and creative costume work. You can find it on Twitter or on Instagram. Both her handles on both those places are Sarah McCostumes. Mm-hmm. She also runs a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast called Pot of Greed, which we guest starred on, episode 40, which is titled Yugi Loses 2 Feet. I looked it up today.
Yeah.
And she just started a Naruto podcast where they only watch filler episodes called Never Believe It, which is a Naruto in-joke that, unfortunately, I understand.
I didn't. I was like, sure, Sarah, great podcast name.
Okay. Also, Cambria Hobbs. She appeared on a bonus episode between episodes 26 and 27 titled The Sagittariusest to Ever Sagittarii. It aired July 30th, 2018, and she selected the various zodiac signs for Wheel of Time characters.
Fun episode.
Pretty accurately, we guess. I don't know too much about zodiac signs, but that's one of her areas of expertise. This podcast also would not exist without Cambria, because she got me into Wheel of Time when we were 11. Her handles on both Twitter and Insta are @justwhatevering. Also contributing...
She's also so pretty.
I know, it's
mean how pretty she is.
I went through puberty with her. How do you think I feel?
I don't want to, be superficial. She's also incredibly intelligent and kind and lovely, but I see pictures of her and I just, throw my phone across the room.
Her social media might be on private. I don't really know.
Not on Twitter anymore. That was a 2020 thing. She had a whole thread about it. Obviously, I pay a lot of attention to Camry because I'm obsessed with her.
Also contributing is my good friend Hannah, who read the Wheel of Time series. She's also been a guest star on my blog in terms of when I talked about going to fetch A Memory of Light from the BYU bookstore at midnight. She was there. A friend of the podcast, Devin, did indeed fill out this questionnaire. He's the only one I interviewed live, so that led to some interesting results. They also have both Sally's brothers, Perry and Ian. Mm-hmm. You can find Perry at Coach Perry 18 on Twitter or just Coach Perry 06 on Insta. He's a good follow because he's very funny, and also he works with middle schoolers, and I just find that delightful about him.
I find him very brave of him.
Yeah, he's the bravest person ever. Ian is only on Insta as far as we know, and his handle is Ian_Goodger.
That's such a horrifying thought that Ian is just
secret
on Twitter.
That is pretty terrifying.
It'd be pretty powerful of him, though. Barry and I are very annoying to each other on Twitter, so I would understand if he wanted to not be involved in that.
Okay, we also got Nathan.
Have we been saying pronouns for everybody or just Sarah?
I started with Sarah and then I stopped because I would say he or she or...
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Do you want me to go back and
No. I just am being silly. Keep going.
No, Nathan, his pronouns are he, him. He co-hosts a podcast called Out for Blood with Sally's other friend, Julie, who also contributed, wherein they consume and review vampire-themed media. Mm-hmm. Sally guested on their 4th episode, which was about Dracula, the musical.
That's correct.
Which I vicariously lived through, because then you told me about it.
And then I came home and I was like, I have to talk to you immediately.
Their podcast Twitter handle is @OutForBloodcast. Nathan's personal Twitter is @Bootwumpy.
I've asked him to explain it to me and it doesn't make any sense. He has a perfectly logical explanation, but I'm like, none of these words make sense to me. That's what he is on Twitter and Instagram as well, I think. Yeah. Some version of that.
Nathan's delightful. I'm not avoiding him. I just want him to know that. He thinks I am, but I'm not.
I don't know what's happening with my friends.
The aforementioned Julie, also Sally's friend and coworker, her Twitter handle is, and I think Insta, is @WitRock, which is her surname, _Julie.
Yeah, on Instagram there's no underscore, I think, but Julie is one of the sticker artists. She submitted a sticker design, and our patrons voted on her design of Tybalt, which is so cute.
Yeah, she's the one with Tybalt who looks kind of evil and spiteful.
Yeah, she really captured his essence.
She really got his energy.
Yeah, so Julie is on our Instagram. If you have trouble finding her, she's tagged on a lot of the posts, if not all of them, with the Tybalt sticker. So.
Yeah, we also have Brianna, Sally's friend. Her pronouns are she, her. You can find her on Twitter and Insta @3cheesepasta. Again, who knows? Then there's Gethin, he, him, of aviary fame.
Yeah.
Tall boy, yo-yoer extraordinaire. He only, again, has Insta. It's Gethin It Done.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know the other night I was listing baby names for my sister? She was like, what are some boy names? So I just started listing boys I know, and I got to Gethin, and she was like, Gethin! And I was like, it's Welsh. And she was like, what? I was like, I know him. He's a really nice boy. And
Very
she was
nice
like,
boy.
okay. Super funny.
Yeah, Gethin just yo-yos on his Instagram. I shouldn't say just. It's very very cool.
Hypnotizing.
Yeah, hypnotizing indeed. And there's no way on God's green earth I could ever do any of it, so check him out for some cool yo-yo content.
Right.
Well, there's only 4 posts on his Instagram right now.
There's only
He archived a bunch of them. I don't... Yeah, anyway.
Okay, we also got the 2 gals from the White Tower podcast, Jen and Jess. Both their pronouns are she, her. You can find them at White Tower Pod. We one time guest starred on their podcast on the February 7th, 2019 episode, which is called Bonus Episode 3, WT and EHR versus the Patriarchy.
Yeah, I think we won.
Yeah, I think we won too. You can find their podcasts on Apple Podcasts or at whitetowerpodcast.com. They're both delightful. Their personal Twitter handles are at Generation Next and at Hey Jessie Pants. Mm-hmm. We also got some listeners who we just know from listening to the podcast. Peter, he, him. He's not super present on social media, but he has been a lovely patron throughout the ages. He is a real one.
He's really the best.
I love Peter.
Yeah, he's so good to us. Thank you, Peter.
Matt, he, him, is an incredible artist. You can find him on Twitter at Matthew_words or on Insta at Matt.words. He, I think, did our first fan art.
Yeah.
At least that I remember.
Yeah, last year for our 1-year anniversary. I think the first one ever was Sarah McClintock's doodle of what we were wearing.
Incredible.
But I don't know if we count that as fan art so much as fine art.
This was fan art in that it, looked like
yeah,
us,
it was so
like,
good.
whoa.
Yeah, Emily and I looked at it for 4 hours straight.
I know. I was just like, oh, damn.
Yeah, so that was last year
everyone I know.
on our first anniversary. It was very sweet, and we love him very much.
We also got Al, they, them, also an incredible artist. You can find them both on Insta and Twitter at Geometry Failure,
which I'm obsessed with.
Al is our teen narc.
Yeah.
They and Matt are 2 of our youngest listeners, I think. They're both
to the best of my knowledge.
They're both young.
Yeah.
But they are... We salute.
Yeah, Al has the funniest Wheel of Time takes of all time.
Al also has incredible Critical Role takes.
Yeah.
And I really just want to compliment them for foreseeing the Beau Jester romance that is brewing in Critical Role Season 2 right now. So thank you.
I thought Jester was in love with Ford.
Jester has had an interesting arc
Jester
with Ford.
can love whoever she wants.
Well, so far it's just Beau having an unrequited love for Jester, but this could change everything because Jester has been pretty ambivalent about Ford for a little while. Because she's matured and grown up a little bit.
I mean, he lost his Texan accent, so
he
wants
did,
to
which
fuck
was
him
the
now.
sexiest part of him.
Sorry, Ford.
Okay, to the questions. Should we alternate? I'll read this one and then you read.
Sure, I haven't really looked at them, so
This will be fun then.
Julie and Gethin and Brianna forebode me from looking at theirs, so...
Oh, okay. This is going to be a lot of reading, but hopefully it will be delightful to you guys as it was delightful for me when I was compiling it at work today. The first question was, what is the Wheel of Time? Al answered, Robert Jordan's personal fuckfest. Jess said, what is it not?
That is a very good point.
Sarah said, a production by Amazon Studios based out of Prague, Czech Republic, which still hasn't hired me. Sheena, please, I'm begging you. I had a 131-day streak in Czech on Duolingo until I got seasonal depression, and if that's not dedication to this production, then IDK what is. Big mood, Sarah. Also, Sheena, I hire you.
Yeah, Sarah's the best.
Yeah. Cambria said, a truly immersive fantasy characterized by robust... This is like an essay. It's like she's writing It's incredible. Characterized by robust world building and a well-developed magic system, coupled with a rich cast of characters, each of whom has a relevant rhymes with elephant,
Relevant.
relevant, if not important, character arc. Also, it tried really hard to be progressive by putting women in important places, but ultimately failed by neglecting to explore varying gender roles / sexuality / anything other than cishet polygamy.
Hell yeah, Cambria.
Yeah, Cambria. Perry did his best and said a Wheel of Fortune spin-off. Ian said the concept of history repeating or reoccurring, so really going to the Buddhist roots.
Proud of you, Ian.
Peter also said the idea that time is circular, also a messed up and tortured metaphor that allowed RJ to screw with destiny and fate and to give anyone plot armor wherever he wanted to. True. Call it like you see it, Peter.
I love the phrase plot armor.
I know. Peter used it twice in his answer.
Smart lad.
Yeah. Hannah said an epic fantasy featuring well-written men and poorly written women. In parentheses, which is the definition of epic fantasy. Am I right? Hannah had some savage fucking words.
I cannot wait to quote all of these on our social media.
Nathan said, Wheelie Time is Robert Jordan's sprawling tale of 3 chuckle fucks, and occasionally some women. From buckfuck nowhere who happen to be particularly vital to the end of the world or something. Nathan has read half of the Eye of the World.
If half might be generous.
Brianna, who I've been informed was with Julie and
yeah,
Gethin.
Brianna, Julie, and
This was a
Gethin.
team effort.
I don't know. Yeah,
They said, it a book, it just keeps ticking. No one can stop the onslaught.
that sounds like a Julie answer.
Devin said, I feel like this is definitely a trick question. Devin thought I was trying to trick him every time I asked a question. He was also really panicked about getting the answers right. It was
It's not a test.
I know. He just thought it was a test. I was like, it's okay. It's a matter of opinion. And he was like, what? So he said, I mean, it's obviously the name of the book series, but I would assume it also has a canonical thing associated with it. I'm going to say it's the cycle of rebirth of the dragon reborn. And then Aaron said, there are dragons? Because I was with my other friends while I was interviewing Devin.
Amazing.
And Matt said, what?
There aren't actual dragons.
There are not actual dragons. I then had to, tell them that there aren't actual dragons, and everyone was very disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't?
I know, I was like, it would be way better if there were dragons. Matt said, a high fantasy series that is way longer than it should be, but in some ways not long enough. Also, rampant with misogyny, which leads us to the next question. Which is, who is Rand al'Thor?
Oh my goodness.
To read. Oh, you're like a news anchor.
Sorry. Harry said, more important, how is Rand al'Thor? Which is kind of him, because I certainly don't care. So, Jen said the guy everybody hates, which is true.
Accurate.
Cambria said, our resident emo king, period.
Period.
It's a sentence. Jess said certified fuckboy, spelled Fuccboi.
That spelling really upset me. I don't really know why. It
I
just
feel like it
triggered
really
something primal.
encapsulates Rand, which is probably why it's so triggered.
I was just like, oh god.
Ow. 6 feet 6 inches of sadness and toxic masculinity, all wrapped up in a ginger package that's been doused in so many Jesus parallels it kind of reeks. Which is very good.
I know.
Ian said, Thor Odinson's Randy cousin,
which was a brave attempt.
disgusting.
And also horrifying.
I hate you. Matt said a jackass should have stayed in that box, which is brutal. Hannah said the main character of Wheel of Time, unfortunately, which is true. Peter, a clueless dummy with impenetrable plot armor who rides the aforementioned tortured metaphor to glory. Sad.
So true, though.
I know.
Rand, the only way he's alive is plot armor.
Yeah, like
He
Rand should have died
so many times.
immediately, really.
Immediately.
After, stepping outside of his house in
was
chapter 1.
Got
Dead.
hit by lightning.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, fuck him.
Nathan said, Randall is our long red-haired dragon reborn person. I hear he gets some sweet dragon tattoos at some point, though.
That's true.
They're shiny.
They're shiny, which is the only thing that's sweet about them.
Nikki, it just says, excuse me.
Sorry, I was trying to capture what everyone was saying. So I said, who is Rand al'Thor? And Nikki said, excuse me?
You have to, Devin said, you have to type this and say it as I do, because it's important that you say that Randall Thor is the Dragon Reborn.
Randall Thor.
Randall Thor. Aaron said, the Dragon Reborn, there are dragons? And then Devin responded, when my dad and I would do road trips as a child, he would put the Wheel of Time books on tape. What? What a fucking plot twist.
I don't know how to explain Devin or Devin's dad.
Yeah.
This is very confusing.
Then Aaron cuts in, so you actually have technically read these books. And Devin responded, no, I was but a boy. While I do have some experience with these books, I know like 3 names, including the assumption that the main character's name is not Rand Althor, but Randall Thor.
Yep.
And Sarah McClintock, absolute legend, responded, Randall Thor is the name of my cousin's friend's D&D character. Interestingly, my cousin's D&D character is a gnome bard named Tom Merrill. I have no further information on the rest of their party, but there's probably a land since they're all 20-year-old gamer dudes.
Funny. We asked, why do we, may or may not include yourself, hate him? Ian said, because he is a dumb misogynist that can't do anything right.
Yeah.
Which I felt like really hit the nail on the head. Nathan said, I believe it is the misogyny. Sarah said, sometimes he reminds me of myself. It terrifies me. Cambria said, with the weight of the world on his shoulders, he embarks on the hero's journey in literally all of the wrong ways. Alternate universe Rand's Twitter bio. May the bridges I burn light the way.
Oh my god.
Perry made a brave attempt with owes you $5.
I mean, for emotional damage, yeah.
Al said, not sure specifically why y'all hate him, but I feel like I can safely assume it's for reasons at least similar to why I hate him. I hate him because he is boring, and because of the way he interacts with the other characters, especially the women. Yes, Al, that is exactly why. Jen said, we hate him because it's too easy. He's the best target. Also true. Matt said, I mean, the thing that really gets my goat is his attitudes and actions toward the women in his life. Needs to protect them, seeing Elaine on 2 occasions and getting her pregnant on the second one. I know, don't think about it. He also hasn't realized that being emotionally and sexually repressed isn't a replacement for a personality. Peter said, he answered a question too. Also, the way he treats women is vomit. And Devin said, I'm just trying to be emotionally supportive of you and Sally, if I'm being honest.
Oh, thanks, Devin.
But really, Ian got it. He is a dumb misogynist.
He gets everything. Can't do anything right. I'm gonna change our Twitter bio to
I know.
that.
Fuck me, right?
Okay. I'm sorry, I just jumped down to Nikki's answer here, but we'll get there. I need to, like, cover the Nikki and Devin sections of this paper. The next question was, how many love interests does Rand have? Sarah said 1, himself. Cambria said, hot take, too many, but not the one that matters. Lan, they deserve each other. Which is a very hot take.
A bold and sexy
take,
I think, to have. I've never thought about the Rand/Lan rare pairing.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can kind of get behind it, except for the age difference.
Would you call it Ran or Land?
Oh, fuck me, right?
I think Land is really funny.
Land.
Land Althormandrogan.
Land Althor...
I couldn't remember what Land's last name.
Mandragoran? Randragoran.
There we go.
Oh my god, their names are perfect for each other.
Nailed it.
Dang.
Perry said 1, our Lord and personal Savior, Jesus Christ.
Again, a good guess.
Ian said to him 8, but in reality 9. Which is pretty funny. Jen said 3, or 5 if you include Luce the Rit. But does Barreline count?
Again, a good question.
Yeah.
I wrote some of these questions and didn't, like, parse how confusing they could be. Like, what I meant was, how many endgame romances does he have? But this does bring up, like, someone, I think, later references, well, what about Edwene, and what about, like, Lanfear? Because they technically count as love interests on some level.
Gross.
Yeah.
Good point, Jen. Damn. Nathan said, I think he gets 3 concurrent wives at some point, but I am sure he has many a tryst along the way to marital bliss. Nathan, you're wrong. Rand has sex like 4 times.
Rand has sex like 4 times, but also he has an incredible amount of sex dreams. It's really horrifying.
Last night, Damn, you are in my sex dreams. That's Lady Gaga. I'm not. That wasn't an original out of my brain. I only wish. If I was just like making a little ditty. Okay. Matt said, over the course of the whole series, too many. Endgame, also too many. Not bashing on polyamory, but Elaine, Avienda, and Men could have done way better.
True.
Avienda,
Also,
at least.
Yeah, Avienda. Maybe not Elaine. Probably Min. If we give Min the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, Matt's right. All women can do better than the shit men they end up with.
I know, and like, Matt, you're not bashing polyamory because, it's not polyamory.
Peter said none. He cannot love. Not mature enough. He can only lust.
Which was another hot take.
Yeah. Brianna said none, or at least 7, which sounds like a Gethin answer, I'll be honest. Whoa. Hannah said 3, Al said 3. Nikki immediately said 69.
It was like she didn't even miss a beat. She was just like 69. And I was like, whoa.
Devin said, based on how you guys describe anything to do with romance in these books, I'm assuming way too many. Can I say like 4? Is that pretty close? Emily's notes. I explained that he had 3 endgame love interests, which sparked some interest until I said it was more polygamy than polyamory. This led to general disappointment. Same. And then Devin continues, just so you all know, right now in X-Men canon, Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Emma Frost are all fucking.
That felt important. Okay, true or false, Rand dates his cousin. Another one I should have been clearer on. I meant Rand dates his first cousin, because that was that's a subject of
discussion.
So, Hannah and Jen both said true. Nathan guessed true. Sarah said, while technically untrue, it's still the exact same situation as in Cassandra Clare's remarkable literary work, City of Bones, where he finds out she might be his cousin and still wants to fuck her.
Which is so true and disgusting.
And literally no one sane has ever called City of Bones a remarkable literary work, except in sarcasm. Thank you, Sarah. Al said, technically true. Ignoring the Andrew and royal family's obsession with how close they are to taking the throne, false. Cambria said, well, does he? Jess said, geometry woman gif. The white woman. I mean, not really, but kind of. I refuse to say Perry's answer because it involves masturbation and it's horrifying. Ian said false. Matt said false. Elaine isn't technically related to him. Thank God. Tigraine and Morgoth were just that good of homies, I guess. Peter said false, though they are distantly related. Also, dating is too nice a word to describe whatever existed between Rand and Elaine. I would call Peter's the most accurate answer. They are distantly related, just by nature of both being part of the Andrew royal line. Yeah, we're all distantly related.
Yeah.
But no, they are not technically first cousins. But Sarah's also right in that there's a stare, which is a horrifying plot point.
And Rand's just like, hold on, like...
Devin iconically said, fuck, I just don't want to answer this question. When were these books written? And where is Robert Jordan from? He then Googled the answers to these questions and decided yes.
He saw what, South Carolina?
Yeah, he was like, South Carolina? Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Fucking savage.
Okay. The next question might be one of my favorites, where Emily wrote, name a woman, any woman, parentheses, in Wheel of Time.
Really on the street.
Name a woman, any woman!
And then Perry said
pass, so he's being evicted from the family.
Oh, so funny.
Matt and Al both said Moiraine. Hannah and Devin said Nynaeve. Brief pause about Nynaeve. When Nathan was first filling this out, he's like, messaged me and he was like, this survey's making me realize I have no idea what Nynaeve's name is. Every time I read it, it was just like a jumble of letters.
It's so many vowels.
He's like, I don't know what her name is.
What the hell?
But he was also like that old woman from the Two Rivers, and I'm like, old? And he's like 26! So funny! He's like, oh, I guess I have no reading comprehension. Oh my god. It was super funny. Jen said Edwene or Egwene.
Yeah, however you pronounce that.
Jess also said Egg, Watcher of the Seals, the Flame of Tarvalon, the Amerlin Seat. Peter said literally egg. Brienne also said egg. Cambria said our queen egg. Ian said Egwene, but spelled Echewaine. Or Edgeween, Edgeween, not sure how to spell it.
Yeah, clearly. He spells it like 3 different times.
That's very funny. Nathan said egg, not egg, he said Edgeween. Moiraine with 2 N's, or Nynaeve. Sarah pasted 2 pictures. One was of a large egg, and one was of a mid-2000s meme Nyan cat.
Yep.
It was very funny. Sarah's was legitimately the funniest thing to read.
I know, I was just dying at Sarah's and Al's and Hannah's. They're all so funny. What is your favorite Wheel of Time country? Nathan did not know there were countries. Sarah said, Ebudar / Amadisia is simply just vibing, and I respect that.
Yeah.
Jess said Ebudar, I really dig the concept of the marriage knife, although I feel like being given the knife should not be contingent on marriage. Cambria said, Shara, I guess, that reveal is unparalleled, LMAO. Perry said Widworld. Not sure what the joke there is.
I think it's supposed to be like Midworld, which is a gunslinger thing.
Okay,
And Widworld is like Wheel of Time, I'm guessing. I'm trying to do some math of my older brother here, and I think that's what it is.
Ian said Trolloc Town. Trolloc spelled Troll-O-C-K.
Yeah.
Brianna said Spain. Jen said Andor. Al said Altara. Lots of stuff happening in Altara. Matt said the Kyrianan are funny as hell to me. Just short and full of spite and assassination attempts. I also just love Moiraine and Talmonese to be real. And they're fantasy French, and I hate the French, so it's real easy to make fun of them.
I hate the French.
Peter said, not a country, but the Ael are my favorite race. Devin said, fuck. And then Aaron immediately imitated The Witcher and said, fuck. Devin says, shit, are the bad guys named after the country they come from? He had to think about this for a while. I thought he was thinking of Shanshin, so I was like, yeah, they are. But no, he was actually thinking about Trollocs.
Trolloc Town. Obviously. That's where Larry grew up.
Then he said, I keep wanting to say the name Gaul, but that's an old-timey country name and a character's name in the series. Gaul is tall.
You're right, Devin.
Yeah, he remembers that rhyme.
You're right. Gaul is tall. Okay. The next question. Are the lyrics to Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba applicable to Wheel of Time? Hannah responded, what the fuck is this? Perry said, does a bear shit in the woods? Which is a good way to get out of actually answering this question. Yeah. Ian said yes, because it is a repeating, maddening song, just like, I'm assuming, the Wheel of Time. Which is pretty funny. Jen said, tub thumping is applicable to everything. Trick question. Next. That's true. Jess said a very similar answer, which is, it is well known that Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba is applicable to all things, but now more than ever, especially the Wheel of Time.
Yeah. Big move.
Yeah. Al, the lyrics, he drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink, in Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba are a subtle nod to the fact that many Wheel of Time characters drink alcohol in various forms. Let's see, Matt said, I mean, Nynaeve could use her Ta'Veren thumping stick to thump some tubs as well. Or some more Ta'Veren who get knocked down, but they get up again. You ain't ever gonna keep them down. Her Ta'Veren thumping stick to thump some tubs as well.
Oh my god.
Sarah, and this is truly, like, I almost want to save it and just make you go look at our Instagram because it's so funny. But Sarah posted that meme with the dialogue, believe it or not, the lyrics to Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba are extremely relevant to the Wheel of Time. And then someone else says, elaborate that, and then the person says no.
No. It's like Hosier. Men get pegged. Elaborate on that. No.
Peter said yes, especially to Egg, which I feel like is very...
Yeah, I think that's true. Egg does get knocked down a lot, but she gets up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pissing the night away. Nikki immediately, I'm assuming, just said yes.
Yes.
Aaron said, I mean, what is it not applicable to? You get knocked down, you get up again. Ain't never gonna keep you down. And then Devin said, and let me tell you later. Let me tell you 14 books later, that has to be true.
Can you name any of the Ale clans? Sarah said, A. Tardad. Is that the sound that you make when it's just like a series of H's?
I don't know.
That's what I hear in my head. B. Shado. C. Jane? They basically are Janes, though. D, I can do the Stone Dogs and Thunder Walkers and all that shit, though, because their names are fucking metal as hell. Red Shields, we love them. Maidens of the Spear, we love them. Jess said the Gen Ale. Wait, that's a sept, right? Stone Dogs? Rock Donkeys? Fuck.
Rock Donkeys!
Al said the Tardad. Matt said the Tarad and Shadow. I know there's more, but none of the names stuck. Cambria said, Sharad? There's, like, the really important one that seceded from the Union or whatever, but I can no remember.
That is seceded from the Union.
Jen said ellipses, yes, but did not offer proof. So that could be a lie.
So go and make her prove it to you.
Yeah, Peter said, I can name a few, but can't correctly spell any of them. Hannah said, I can't. It's sad because they are my favorite group of people in the whole book. Perry and Ian made the exact same joke, proving that they are related, and just listed types of ale. Perry said Pilsner, Guinness, beer, pale ale, stout, lager. Ian said Coors. Nathan said, literally no. No.
My brothers are so dumb.
Devin said no, but I know Rand is part ale from literally the last episode, so I gave him bonus points for that.
Thanks, Devin. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Of course. Sorry. Okay. True or false? The Shanshan have Texan accents. Ian said, this can only be true. Brianna said, that's gotta be true. Devin said, it's too ridiculous to not be true. Jen, Jess, and Al all said true. Al said, unfortunately true. Sarah, who is my favorite person on the planet, included a picture of Ford from Critical Role with the dialogue, glory to the Empress, may she live forever. Cambria said, give me a Texan Aegeonin or give me death.
True.
Peter said, false. At least I hope they don't, despite the drawl descriptor. The idea of people that enslaves individuals having a southern accent is just no.
Which is a good point, and one
Yeah.
that I didn't even think about, which just goes to show you how bad. Ow! Tibble.
Well, why are you biting?
How bad U.S. history teaching in the U.S. is. But yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's, like, horrifying. And
Yeah.
also kind of, accurate.
It is accurate.
But it's also just, like, one too many. Because then Robert Jordan goes out of his way to redeem those people,
Yeah.
or to attempt to redeem
I think
those
that's
people.
true. It also gets, like, weird layers in the fact that, like, Tuon is black with a southern accent.
Yes.
And so it just, like, in the context of, like, real-world history, just has, like, too many layers
Yeah. It's
to, like,
not
make
good.
it comfortable. Yeah, you're right, Peter. Nathan and Hannah said false, so, I mean, we'll never
Yeah.
really know.
Yeah, who's to say? True or false, pronunciation is irrelevant. Sarah said, and I am not going to be able to do this, if you pronounce Shanshan with actual Gaelic pronunciation, it should be Shanachn. Cat hiss noise like the at the end of loch.
Perfect.
Can't do it. Cambria said, if you have to tell me how to pronounce your characters' names, you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
Perry said, as someone from Utah, I believe pronunciation is irrelevant. Ian said, pronunciation is in the ear of the beholder. Jen, Jess, and Peter all said true. Nathan said, extremely true. Matt said, I mean, I follow pronunciation guides religiously, but it's fun hearing people pronounce stuff differently. So true. Live your best no pronunciation guide life, folks.
Yeah.
Hannah said, true for readers, false for podcasters. Because she knew that would anger me. Devin said, I can't remember where you landed on this, but I'm assuming true. This led to a conversation about the pronunciation of Edwin's name and the revelation that Devin had no idea that Edwin and Egg were the same person.
So he's like, who the fuck is Egg?
He, like, missed that, like, bridge. So
Who is Egg?
Egg. He just thought we said egg all the time.
He's like, I don't know, those
Yeah.
fucking idiots. Next question. True or false? Jerkins have sleeves. Aaron, false. A jerkin is a vest. Devin, wait, is this not a people? Jen and Jess said false. Al said false. Jerkins don't have sleeves. Matt said, fashion is a nightmare, but I'm going to say false. If my mental idea of jerkins is correct, then a sleeved version is just a leather jacket, which you can in fact call a leather jacket.
True.
Peter said, I would say false, but apparently it's a matter of some debate. Hannah said false, a leather vest. Nathan said false, jerkins are just vests. Perry said, well, when you're jerking so much, you tend to rip the sleeves.
I'm gonna kill you, Perry,
Yeah.
next time I see you.
Ian said yes, otherwise they would be vests. What?
So, So Ian so far is the only one who is like, yeah, because otherwise it would be a vest. Everyone else has been like, yes, otherwise it would be a leather jacket.
Confusing.
Very confusing.
Cambria said, fuck, I can't remember. I'm sorry, Sarah, I have failed you.
And then Sarah comes in,
Sarah
the authority.
herself, the authority on the matter, said, while as a general rule, a 13th to 15th century overgarment without sleeves is described as a jerkin, occasionally a sleeved garment is also called a jerkin. What the difference is, I'm not entirely sure, but quite often the sleeved jerkins are longer in the body than doublets, or will have half-length or three-quarter length sleeves. Doublets are their own distinct thing, which notably are never mentioned in Wheelie Time. Kudos to RJ for that. But jerkins seem to describe a range of medieval outerwear that aren't doublets, so both true and false. Some jerkins do have sleeves. However, I'm not giving RJ the benefit of the doubt for describing them as having sleeves. So there you go.
Yeah, there's the answer.
The debate's been settled.
Who is the main female character? Cambria said, my first instinct is to say Edwene, but I have far more vivid memories of Nynaeve's scenes and various doings. She's positioned as the only power user who is equivalent to Rand and ultimately plays a vital role in his most major initiatives. Matt also said Nynaeve. God knows where all the other characters would be if it weren't for her, and I think she deserves to be the main character. Parentheses, now I'm thinking about a completely implausible Nynaeve is the chosen one AU. Thanks.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, think about that. Devin said, I'm going to guess it's the one I've already named, Nynaeve. And then he was upset to learn that this was a matter of opinion. Jess said, Egwene Alvear, the Watcher of the Seals, the Flame of Tarvalon, the Amerlin Seat. Ian said Egwene, spelled E-G-G-W-A-Y-N-E. Peter said egg. Brianna said egg. Nathan said maybe egg. Al and Hannah both said Edwene. Sarah pasted the egg picture again. And Perry said God, which, hot take.
I guess. Okay. Which grouping of characters is your least favorite, and why? Sarah said A, Elaine and Avienda, etc., doing Camelin Palace shenanigans around book 9 and 10, I think. B, they're not fucking each other. C, I just think that plotline could be fun if the actual reason Elaine was having a hard time getting the throne is because she was too busy being dominated by Avienda during sex.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Yeah. Cambria said the Aes Sedai, generally speaking, which is very interesting, but with some exceptions. I couldn't ever keep track of them. I think at some point y'all have stated that you could replace the dozens of revolving Aes Sedai with faces with like 5 or 6 and not change the story at all, so why just not do that?
Yeah.
Ian,
seriously.
Yeah, like it's a good point, Cambria. Ian said the first party forum because that's the only one I know of. Jess said Aes Sedai, they have so much potential but are so far up their own asses, but I want to be one, obviously. Jen said Gaul, Bane, and Chiad because there's no point, it's only sadness. At least with Rand 3, they all seem to be okay with it.
That's true.
But Gaul...
I know Gaul, but that's like resolved in a super... Or it isn't resolved. I don't get it. It's very weird.
Al said Tom and Julian with anybody. Why are they there? Someone tell Julian to go home. I think that this is the one I most agree with. I don't understand Julian. What is the point of him? Matt said, the Shanshan are insufferable. I hate them, and I hate how Robbie J wrote them. They're imperialists, which is bad enough, and their entire empire is built on slavery. And RJ tried to make them humanized, but it's obvious that they are villains, and there's weird Orientalism undertones with their very Japanese-adjacent fashion. Good.
Preach, Matt.
Preach. Peter said the circus, so effing boring.
Peter.
I know.
Really failing us here.
But, I mean, just imagine Lin-Manuel Miranda as Val.
No, just, think about it.
And he's, singing Lady Gaga songs.
But I, do get you. There are some, weird asides during the circus. How the guy keeps hitting on Nynaeve, and it's, it's not as funny as you think it is, RJ.
No.
You know?
And, I do get it. Objectively, it's, a weird plot that's dragged on way too long, like most things in Wheel of Time. If it was a couple chapters, it could be more fun, but it's, the whole book, you know? Hannah said Morgause and her storyline with the Children of Light. Robert didn't know how to write women well.
Yeah, that one might be my favorite. Yeah. I mean, my least. I might agree with that one the most. That one is really painful.
It is really painful. Nathan said, I don't know what this means, but Perrin is such an ass with his bloodlust against Egg in the first Wheatley book. Devin said, I'm going to say just anybody that Perrin's with. Good answer, Devin.
Good answer.
So loyal.
Which nonsensically heterosexual romance is your least favorite, and why? Jen said, Gawain and Edwene, because just look at it. Peter said Tom and Moiraine, no good logical reason they should be a thing. Al said Moiraine and Tom are probably the most nonsensical. Moiraine spends minimal time around Tom. They interact on screen as many times as I can count on my fingers. Yet when Moiraine finally re-enters the plot, they both act like an already married couple. That, combined with the sprinkled-in information that Moiraine had a thing with Swan, is just unbelievable at best. Matt said, three-way tie between Edwin and Gawain. She deserves better, and Gawain just straight up sucks. Moiraine and Tom. Seriously, Tom's creepy as hell, and it came from absolutely nowhere. And Swan and Gareth Brain. I just hate it and do not vibe with it.
I don't vibe with it either.
Sarah said, gotta be Landine Knave. My friend Graham holds them up as the pinnacle of romance, and the first time he mentioned this, I lost all respect I ever had for him, and I'll never get that back. Fuck you, Robert. You should have thought about my interpersonal relationships before ruining them with your shitty quote-unquote romances. Cambria said, TBH, I hate Nynaeve and Lands. It's dumb that an otherwise strong, independent, tenacious woman becomes an actual puddle for his dumb, chiseled jawline, or whatever. Miss me with that shit.
Yeah, Cambria.
Jess said, Perrin and Fail, they are toxic as fuck, disrespectful, petty, and Fail is downright abusive. Don't fucking at me. I will not at you, Jess, but I will add that Perrin is also abusive.
Yeah.
They're both terrible. Ian said, I can only assume one of them is in a relationship with a quote-unquote evil person that is obviously evil and they just don't care. So that one. Or one that dates a sibling or parent. Luckily, as we've discussed with the cousins question, there is no actual incest in Wheel of Time. But yeah, there is the whole Rand Lanfear plot. So yeah, I'm there with you, Ian. Hannah said, Rand and Elaine both whined about literally everything. Their child is going to be the worst human.
That's so true.
Genetically
I never thought
speaking,
about that.
Yep. Nathan said Egg and Rand. I don't know if they are actually a thing, but Rand is too much of an ass and Egg is too good for Rand. Devin said anything involving Rand, because even listening to you guys describe how painful it is quite painful. Brianna said, in the book or in real life?
So good. I actually feel like Kevin probably said that.
We'll never know.
I'm sorry that I keep trying to pinpoint which of my friends said it. It doesn't
very
matter.
funny.
Okay, next question. Which characters or plots do you believe could be redeemed by making them queer? Sarah said, I mean all of them. Specifically Matt, but watch out that he doesn't fall into the slutty bisexual trope, which is a very good point. I've never really thought about that.
I've thought of, yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Good call, Sarah.
Yeah. Also, please actually make Min non-binary, thereby queering Rand. Logain, be gay. I just think it'd be neat. Leanne tries to use her feminine wiles on him, and he's just like, I'm gay. And Leanne's like, duh, so am I. Commit to the bit. Yeah. Cambria said glad, full stop. Perry, Jess, and Nathan all said all of them.
True.
Yeah. Jen said, I stand with Kayla by saying Perrin and Gaul having a romance. Maybe the only thing that could redeem Perrin.
Yeah, that's
is
true.
his boyfriend.
Yeah.
Matt said, I've talked to y'all about trans man Perrin before, which was a very interesting conversation that we had, but too long don't read. I always fuck up that acronym. A lot of his deal with the wolves reminds me of my own experiences as a trans guy. It also makes him carrying on about it a bit more tolerable because, same hat. That shit's hard to get over. I've also been thinking about trans woman Nynaeve, which just sparks joy for me. Trans woman fail is also an interesting concept I haven't seen people talk about, and it makes Perrin pestering her about her name in The Dragon Reborn hit closer to home. She just hates her birth name, which is a whole ass mood. And also, lesbian Edgeween. No Gawain plotline. She gets a GF. Everyone wins. And gay Talmanese might just be projecting here, but I'm deeply invested in this. Also, non-binary men, please, Amazon.
Yeah, so we're hearing a large consensus for non-binary men.
Which would be pretty rad.
I'm also, Matt bringing up, trans fail is a really interesting one to me.
Yeah.
Both fail and Perrin. That's a really interesting concept.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot. I think Matt's right that those... I mean, you still have to fix everything involving their just making them trans wouldn't fix their plot lines, but it would make them far more interesting to read about. And yeah, if Perrin was a trans guy, then I think the way he goes on about things would. Yeah,
I think it takes their plots that are sort of nonsensical and puts a very interesting framework around them.
Yeah.
That would add a lot of depth to the character as opposed to it just being a weird plot quirk.
Yeah.
So, Matt, your galaxy brain is next level.
Unparalleled.
Al said Avienda and Elaine. There's a certain point in reading the story where it just gets unbearable to read outside of a queer context. The two of them waking up in the same bed in the morning and having it played off as purely platonic is just upsetting to read as a lesbian. And yeah, Al's been tweeting a lot about that lately. And it's just like...
Is that where they are in the books, maybe?
Al?
Yeah.
I mean, they've read them several times,
Oh.
I think. It's just, like, I think they're doing a reread or something, but it's just, like... Yeah, they make such good points about particularly the way that Elaine and Avienda's relationship
Yeah, they,
is
like,
queered.
literally bathe together and just, like, do very... They do these things that I think Robert Jordan, a presumably straight man, would be like, oh yeah, sisters would do this.
Yeah.
Really close gal friends. But it's
Gal
like...
pals.
It's like, no, you're doing the whole, like, historians thinking, they lived together and
They
shared a
bathed
bed,
together,
they
yeah.
bathed together, they must have been friends.
Very good friends.
And it's like, no, Robert, they're lesbians.
Yeah, I don't
Stop
take
doing
baths
that.
with my friends.
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
Or my sisters.
Yeah,
for
could you
God's
imagine? It's
sake.
like, hey, Sarah, it's time to take a bath.
Yeah, awful. And also, like, when we go on family vacations, hotel, I don't want to sleep with either of my sisters. They will kick.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Only if you were fucking would you put up with that shit.
Exactly.
Robert.
Robert.
Peter said, I don't know that any of the characters that need redemption could be saved in this way. However, Matt and Talmany's being a couple would have at least nudged Tuon into obsolescence because, of course, Matt would have a meaningful and mutual relationship with Talmany's.
Good point. And I also see the appeal of nudging Tuon into obsolescence.
Yeah.
The more I get into this
Yeah.
series reread.
Yeah.
Oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Guy, this dude my coworker Ashley is dating, for some reason he took the survey, and this was the only answer I felt was interesting. Gawain, it would have stopped him and Edwin from interacting as much. They were bad for each other, and he could have fallen for one of the other warders or something. I always wondered how a relationship between warders bonded to other Aes Sedai would be handled.
Yeah,
That's
I was like,
interesting.
I've never even met Guy. I just know that he's dating my coworker and apparently has read Wheel of Time. And I was like, an interesting thought.
Yeah,
I could
interesting.
actually get behind that.
Thanks, Guy. Hannah said Barrelane hitting on Fail instead of Perrin would be very
Excellent.
interesting. Yeah. Devin said, I'm gonna say that if you make Rand, like, good queer, it's gonna solve a lot of other problems. It's gonna be a cascading effect. It's gonna solve the cousin problem, the polygamy problem.
So funny. Pretend you are a therapist. How would you actually diagnose Rand's various mental illnesses? What about other characters? Sarah said, if Rand had a therapist, they would be killed by him in session 1. I can't take that risk. Camry said, I literally don't even know where to start with Rand, but Matt obviously has ADHD. My guy. Back to Rand, PTSD for sure. I think mild OCD, abandonment trauma, borderline personality disorder, pre-Lutheran manifest, dissociative personality disorder, post-Lutheran manifest, manic depressive disorder. I think that's it. Don't ask me to back this up. Hers is especially interesting for calling out OCD because Rand has that whole like ritual of going through the women's names, which is incredibly annoying, but also like has an element of obsessive compulsiveness to it. So I think that's really interesting. Jess said the only one I'm willing to commit to is Matt definitely having ADHD. Al said all of those poor kids have PTSD, frowny face. Jen said schizophrenia with textbook narcissism. Matt said, man, I really don't know enough about mental illness to give you anything with full confidence, but I'll tentatively armchair diagnose Rand with PTSD and depression. And there's a Tumblr post out there by someone with dissociative identity disorder who suggested DID as well. As far as other characters, I've got no clue. I do feel like Nynaeve could benefit from a few counseling sessions on anger management, though, and not in a dude bro fanboy, haha, brain tugging she can't channel without being angry way. Hannah said paranoia, PTSD, schizophrenia, bipolar. Aaron, my friends, Aaron and Nikki just started listing and things, and I was like, where are you guys getting these from? And they were like, we were just watching Spinning Out on Netflix, which is like about a ice skater with bipolar. And Devin said, is he white? What's the narcissism? He's a white male protagonist. He's a narcissist.
Yeah.
All of which I think are valid. Good readings, everyone.
Yeah, I think OCD is particularly interesting.
Yeah, I find OCD particularly interesting. I totally agree that Matt has ADHD, and I agree all of them have PTSD. And, yeah, I don't know enough about many of the other ones. Yeah. But, yeah, I think Rand was probably a bit of a narcissist.
Yes. Okay, next question. What's your favorite scene in the series? Perry said the one where Chandler gets caught, which is a Friends reference, so strike 2. Nathan said, I don't know enough, frowny face. And the one where Rand's dad kills a Trolloc in their house, because it's the only one I know. Sarah said, genuinely a big fan of the weird flies / horror scenes from book 2. RJ wrote a legit scary thing and then decided, nah, let's never do that again. Like if Wheelie Time was a 14-book long slasher, I'd kind of be into it, not gonna lie. B, whichever Matt scene I've read last.
Big fucking mood.
Yeah. Peter said Matt defeating the G brothers with a staff.
The G brothers!
Love the fact that you refer to them as the G brothers.
I know, honestly.
Also, that might be my favorite scene, too. I love that
so
scene.
Good.
Yeah. Hannah Edwin becoming Amerlin, which is another very good scene, despite minus the transphobia weird stuff that happens.
The weird shit that happens.
Jen said Varen's tea scene. It's documented. I don't know which one she's talking about.
Yeah, Jess also said Varen's tea party. I assume they're talking about right at the very end of the series when Varen reveals that she's been undercover in the Black Aja, more or less.
Yeah.
By serving egg tea and giving herself some poisoned tea so that she can spill the secrets. It's very interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
Al said Edwin defending the White Tower from the Shanshin. Matt said that's a tough one. Edwin giving Eleda a verbal beatdown in the Gathering Storm was very good and cathartic, but also there's a chapter in A Memory of Light where Rand and Matt meet up again and it's pretty enjoyable. There's also other scenes in A Memory of Light that I love and hardcore cried at, but I know Sally hasn't gotten there yet, so I won't spoil them, but those who fight and Tam's point of view bit really, at the end, really got me. Hi, Tybalt. Thank you, Matt, for not spoiling it for me. You're so sweet and considerate.
Yeah, Cambria also references A Memory of Light, but I don't think it's a spoiler.
Oh, I mean, I don't really care at this point. This podcast has sort of broken me against spoilers.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's no big deal. Cambria said, TBH, and don't throw any shade here. I love Rand's monologue at the Dark One before he fucking wins. I remember the first time I read The Last Battle after spending literally 10 years reading and waiting for this finale. He starts talking about how it wasn't even about him, that it was actually about everyone else and what they accomplished. It really got me, like I grew up with these people.
Yeah, no shade, Cambria. I totally cried at that scene when I read it the first time.
Yeah.
Like, it's very emotional. Can you name all 14 books without looking them up? Again, Perry and Ian made the same joke. Ian said no, but I can name 400 to 600 Pokemon and their type. So yeah, that's more impressive. Perry said 1 Brock, 2 he just
like a bunch of Pokemon
he just lists
trainers.
Pokemon characters, but like 9 through 14 are Ash.
Yeah.
Jess just said nope. The combined forces of Brianna, Julie, and Gethin said, Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, The Sorcerer's Stone, Fellowship of the Ring, Aragon, Brissinger, Martin the Warrior, The Princess Diaries, Everything I Know About Women I Learned from My Tractor, Breaking Dawn, The Last Unicorn, Howl's Moving Castle, Goodnight Moon, and The Last Battle. A valiant attempt.
Everything I know about women I learned from my tractor.
I don't fucking know. Nathan said The Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, The Dragon Reborn, Some Shadow Bullshit. 10 other books and a prequel. Cambria said, not a chance. All of the ones in the middle bleed together for me. Peter said, yes, not necessarily in order though, thanks to Middle Book Slog. Jen said, yes? How much time do I have? Hannah said, this is an incomplete list, but it's very good. Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, The Dragon Reborn, Path of Daggers, Winter Sucks, Towers of Midnight, A Memory of Light.
Winter Sucks!
Al did list 14 books, but they included New Spring and forgot Knife of Dreams. Which, absolutely no shade, I get it. Sarah said, oh boy, how am I going to read this? These are just, for the record, there are no spaces in any of the titles. Eye of the World, Great Hunt, Dragon Reborn, Shadow Rising, Fires of Heaven, Lord of Chaos, Crown of Swords, Path of Daggers, Knife of Dreams, Rose of Twilight, Winter's Hate, Gathering Storm, Towers of Midnight, Memory of Light.
Perfect.
Yeah, might just swap around Winter's Heart and Knife of Dreams, so it's good to know I'm not a totally lost cause. Matt just did. It was incredible. Hero. I modified this question for Devin to, can you name any Wheel of Time book? Which he really struggled with for a while. I also said that the naming convention tended to be the noun of noun.
Mm-hmm.
So he came up with The Great Hunt, The Dragon Reborn, The Shadow Rising. Couldn't think of the first one. Said Mists of Avalon.
Almost.
Aaron came up with The Castle of Creation. And Devin said, that seems like it would be something.
Sure. The Castle of Creation.
I know.
Next question. If you were cursed by an evil wizard to be a Brandon Sanderson book, which one would you be?
Caveat here, I did not mean I did not mean you're cursed by an evil wizard and that he's turning you specifically into a Brandon Sanderson book. I just think it would be awful to live a life as a book.
Yeah.
So that's what makes him an evil wizard.
Yeah. Sarah said, "Oh, honey, I'm a huge Brando Sando fan. If he hadn't been the person to write the last 3 Wheelie Time books, I don't think I could physically have finished them." I know, I love that that's just like a thing.
Yeah.
He's just so easy to read, and Robert Jordan is so hard. Matt died for our sins. Let not his sacrifice be in vain. Legible prose in my fantasy novels. I'm begging every other fantasy author here, please just say what's happening. I am so confused. Cambria said, the one he just finished writing because we don't know if it will be fun or not fun yet, and I like to keep my fans guessing. Perry said, Richard Nixon, The Real War.
He's trying.
I don't know. Nathan said, hopefully the one with vampires. Oh no, hopefully one with vampires, sorry.
There is one that has vampire-like entities.
That's cool.
Elantris.
Hopefully one with vampires. Ian said Oathbringer. Jen said none of them. Jess said, I've never read any of them besides the Wheel of Time ones, so A Memory of Light. Everyone loves that one, and I'm desperate for affection and validation. Matt said, I've abstained from Branderson.
All of the Brandon Sanderson.
Branderson. Tried reading one of his books, and I couldn't get into it, so I have no clue. Peter said, I would like to be A Memory of Light, but would probably end up being book 1 of Mistborn.
Oh.
Al, I've never made it farther than 100 pages into a Sanderson book, so honestly, I have no idea. Hannah, fuck Brandon Sanderson. Brianna said Warbreaker, which I know they Googled.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I think. I don't want to throw shade at my friends. Devin, did he write the Fablehaven books? Me, no, you're thinking of Brandon Mull. Me meaning Emily, not me. Also a Utah author. Devin, can you list some? What's the one you have autographed? Emily, me, Mistborn. There's also The Way of Kings, Elantris, trying to remember, fuck, Warbringer? Devin, fuck Warbringer. I want to be that one.
So obnoxious. Are you going to watch the TV show? Brianna /Gethin /Julie said, wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? Perry said, Wheel of Fortune 2, The Wheel of Time sounds amazing. Matt and Peter both said yes. Nathan said Hundo P.
No! Stop saying that!
Means.
They're doing it to torture me.
Okay.
It means 100%, and they know I hate it. And so every time I say something, they say Hundo P. Because I hate them.
Hannah said, absolutely, I'm there for the diversity. Jess said, fucking right I am. Ian said, yes, so viewership rises and the actors are forced into what I can only imagine as a lifelong commitment of 30 seasons. So there's some spite there. Sarah said, yeah, from set when they finally hire me. Cambria said, I can't not. I have a literal Wheel of Time quote tattooed on my arm. I feel like not watching it would be a false representation of my brand.
Yeah.
Jen, along those lines, said contractually obligated. Al said, yes, but I'm going to pirate it, obviously. Kill Jeff Bezos and redistribute his wealth.
Yeah.
Devin said, probably. I don't think I'm going to dig it, but I don't know. I watched The Witcher, didn't I? There's not a toss a coin to your Witcher in Wheel of Time that's going to get stuck in my head, is there? And I said, no, but there's a bard character, but he's less musically inclined, and an old guy, not a twink. This then led to a conversation about whether twinks can be old. Devin Googled, what's an old twink called? It was a whole thing.
Jesus. Next question. Name a Robert Jordan writing quirk. Sarah. She wore an embroidered gown with embroidered thistles embroidered across the heavily embroidered skirts. Embroidered roses spiraled across the front of her bodice, thorns peeking out and pointing to her huge... I can't even say this. Badonkahonkamungoes, which are the only part of the body I can conceptualize as an indicator of sexuality. Badonkahonkamungoes.
I know, it's so fucking bad.
Badonkahonkamungoes. Fucking lose my mind. Okay. Cambria. Always knowing exactly what women are wearing / how big their boobs are, and never really knowing what the men are wearing, or how big their dicks are? Unfair, I say. Perry. Obsessed with Greek food. You can smell it in the writing. Nathan. Identifying the exact number of gray hairs on a character's head.
Yeah.
Ian. Too much exposition? Question mark.
True.
Jess, he likes to describe things with 4 adjectives in pairs, like brown and russet, earth and stone, or whatever. Jen said spank. Matt said fade to black sex scenes, for which we are very grateful.
Seriously.
Peter, going on forever describing some minute and unimportant details, but not providing any believable basis for some more important things like relationships. Al, tugs braid. Hannah, folding arms under boobs. Brianna said misogyny. Brianna, Geth, and Julie, the hive mind, said misogyny. Devin said white savior, right? I feel like that's a bingo free space.
Oh, how many Aes Sedai can you name without looking them up? Most people just got, 5. The Brianna hive mind got 7. Cambria said 9. Jen had 10. Sarah said, why must you test me so, cruel masters? And got 17. Matt had 24. And
Jesus.
Al had 27.
Al.
So now the goal is to see if I can beat Al.
Okay, lay it on me, babe.
Okay. Okay. Edwin, Elaine, Nynaeve, Moiraine, Swan, Leanne, Theodrin, Theolaine, those 2, accepted gals, Shiriam, Carlinia, Baonin, Mirel, Alviarin, Katarine, Galena, Marana, Cadsuan. There's a chick named literally Bera, Bera.
Amazing.
I know. Yukiri, Ciane, also Saren, they're in the same grouping. Dosine, I'm running out of steam. Jolene, Edicina, Teslin. Is that 25?
You're at 25. You got 4 more. You're missing a huge big one. Main character.
Did I say Elaine, Nynaeve?
Okay, not main character, main secondary character.
Oh, okay. I got Swan, I got Moiraine, I got Leanne. Damn, who am I forgetting? Aleda. Was that who you were thinking?
No, but that's a good one.
Yeah, Aleda. Did I say Alviarin? I feel like I did.
Yeah, I think you did. At 26.
Ah!
We need 3 more!
I need to beat Al! No, I just need 2 more.
Al got 27.
Oh, Varen and Alana.
There you go.
That's 28.
And who?
Alana.
Oh, yeah, that's 28.
Rapist.
Can you think of one more?
Why?
Did Al get 27 or 28?
Al got 27.
Oh, okay, you got 28.
I beat Al! Yes. Okay.
Did you hear that? What the fuck did Tibble just do?
Freaked the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh. Done?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dunzo.
I totally blinked out for a second. Okay. If you had to change the storytelling structure of the series from multiple points of view to a singular point of view, whose would you choose? Sarah said, Matt, duh. The only point of view that makes the series worth it. F in the chat for Matt POVs. Cambria. The obvious choice here is Matt. He's present enough through the major plot points to provide context, but removed enough to be relatively objective. Also, it's truly delightful to be in his head. Cambria, why are you the most delightful person?
She's so lovely.
Devin said, I'm gonna say, purely based on y'all's apparent affection for him, Matt. Matt said, kinda want to see what an entirely Matt POV series would look like, not gonna lie. Jen, the one who changes the most, and if not be Rand, maybe Matt. Padan Fane through the series would be insane.
Would be, fuck.
Jess said, I feel like Rand would be the most logical, but ugh. So Moiraine, or maybe Lan, just 14 books of those motherfuckers. Ian, the most interesting Trolloc out there. So Larry.
Larry, of course,
obviously.
yeah.
Brianna, Geth, and Julie said the horse.
Yep.
Peter said loyal, which would be so
Fascinating.
cute.
I know. Peter, again, coming in hot with a hot take.
As our storyteller figure would be super cool. Hannah said Edwene. Al also said Edwene, if only because she constantly has stuff going on so it wouldn't get boring super fast.
So anyway, people voted on which of the Wheel of Time covers is terrible. Ian said The Great Hunt. What is so impressive about the horn? The creepy goat man in the back. Sarah said, I've not seen many of them, but the Dragon Reborn one haunts me. Jess said, they're all pretty bad, but paired in that fur vest with the mullet on the cover of the Dragon Reborn is basically a human rights violation.
Yes.
Incidentally, Aaron also decided on the Dragon Reborn, due primarily to the floating head on the cover. Jen said Fires of Heaven. Al said, the original Lord of Chaos cover art is an atrocity. I can only assume the man on the cover is Rand, even though it more closely resembles my uncle. Besides, and shape of his torso
That made me
immediately
dizzy. I'm literally feeling faint.
Don't faint, Jesus.
Okay, keep reading.
The size and shape of his torso immediately makes me think of what a human brain David Byrne's big suit might look like. The Drakkar in the background looks positively adorable, so points for that, I guess.
Jesus Christ, Al.
Nathan said, A Crown of Swords, my fave. It has got strong Castlevania vibes. Someone give this boy a whip. Lord of Chaos, that bat thing was literally in my nightmare last night.
Yeah.
Matt said, Oh, Crown of Swords, why does Rand look like Sting as Paul Atreides in Dune? Why is he in a ripped tank top? Why is his arms like that? And why is he flexing for the camera? Is it a weird power stance thing? Is he trying to assert his dominance to soothe his broken ego and increasingly fragile masculinity? Who knows? Not me.
Not me.
I showed all the covers to Devin and Nikki and Aaron, and they had to, mimic all the poses.
Yeah, of course they did.
Because some of them are very
Hilarious.
horrifying.
Yeah.
Devin and Nikki both agreed on the Crown of Swords, mostly because he's standing horrifically.
Yeah.
Perry said Book 9, Path of Daggers, and Peter said Knife of Dreams, for sure. So we've got a good scattering
Yeah.
there.
He more closely resembles my uncle.
I know.
Literally made me dizzy. I was laughing too hard.
So we enjoyed that immensely.
So much.
We hope you guys did too. Thank you so much for listening for 100 episodes.
That's crazy. Y'all are crazy.
No, that's crazy. We've been doing this for 2 years, and it is still fun, which
It is still so fun.
is quite a thing to say.
Yeah.
So we can't say thank you enough.
It's true, we can't. But we'll try. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you to Glenn McKenzie for the use of our theme song, Not Tub Thumping by Not Chumbawamba.
Yeah, don't sue us.
Thank you to everyone who's bought stickers so far. That's so sweet of you. Thanks to everyone who bought them day of. Michaela, you were technically our first order because my mom's order got canceled because Etsy thought I was doing an illegal thing by buying from my own shop because my mom and I have the same name.
That might as well be your sign.
So that was a fun day. And just thank you to everyone who supported the podcast in any way, shape, or form over the last 2 years and last 100 episodes, whether that's monetarily on Patreon or just through a donation on Ko-fi, Coffee, or just a donation, listening, tweeting about us, posting about us on any social media, talking to us, recommending it to a friend, even just listening. It's so awesome. Thank you for coming on this crazy ride with two fools.
2 lunatics. What are
3.
we doing?
Tibble.
3, including Tibble, who's very angry.
Yeah, he's just sort of yelling and sniffing the floor.
Thank you again. Do you have a sign-off?
And now, just the Etsy
Just
thing.
the Etsy thing. Okay, remember to buy stickers.
Yeah.
And don't do a war crime.
Don't do a war crime.
Why does he look like my uncle?